Hello, this is continuation of typography video. So let's begin creating some types. Now in Photoshop it all comes down to what the type element is. Like for example, we have to create a heading which will be just 1 to 2 lines. So we'll need to have a larger font size and a bigger layer size. You'll see. Activate type tool if it is not already active. Now before we begin, let's look at the character panel to set our font face and font size. We can change it later as well, but it is better to do it beforehand. As a beginner, you will find yourself constantly changing a typeface over and over again. But this will be resolved with time when you will become more familiar with different typefaces and will have different ideas of how various typefaces goes well with different designs. Now to choose a font, go to this character panel and click on the font name. A drop-down menu will appear. You can choose from all the different fonts available to you in the list, or if you already know the name of the font you want to use, then simply type in the name of the font in the space and click on the appropriate option that appears. For this, I'll type in Open Sans, the font we installed earlier, and we'll choose regular style. Enter the value 40 in the font size and press enter. Before we forget, close the example area group in the layers panel and click on the practice area group. You can see that the group is currently empty. Now go to the canvas area and with the type tool active, click once on the canvas. This will activate the classic text cursor on the canvas. I will go ahead and type in some text here. With this, you can see that there is a new layer in the layers panel now. And if everything is correct, then the layer should be under the practice area group. And if not, then drag the layer into the group. Now with this, we can begin editing our type layer. Click on the type with type tool active and you should enter the edit mode. Select the text with your mouse and now look at the character panel and look for tracking option. This one. You can either enter the value you want in the box or you can mouse over on the tracking icon and then drag the mouse pointer to increase or decrease the value. Now try to add more text below the existing one. Deselect the text like you would do in any word processing program. Move the cursor to the end of the type and press enter to start a new line and then type in some text. Now this is not what we expected. Select all the type in the layer and look into the character panel for leading. This is just above tracking and below font style. Just like we did it with tracking, click and drag from the icon of leading to change its value gradually. Do it slowly. Once you are satisfied with the leading value, press Ctrl Enter. Now move this type layer to better position with Move tool. Now let's do some more editing. This time we will edit not the whole type layer but only the second row of the layer. So click on the type layer with the type tool and get into the edit mode. Select the entire bottom row and this time go to the control panel for editing. In this, change the font size value to 25 and press enter. Now change the tracking to between 800 to 900. Now we have a lot of space between letters in a single word. Now Ctrl A to select all the type and change the leading to suitable value. Let's look at the paragraph panel while we are at it. You see there are some stacks of horizontal lines in the paragraph panel. These are alignments to be applied to the entire paragraph. Click on the second icon from the left and it will set the paragraph to middle alignment. The layer has moved. Use the move tool to put the type layer in a better position. The layer moved when we changed the alignment because the anchor point of the layer was set to a fixed point and the alignment took place according to that point. So it moved a little. Now these alignment options are also available in the control panel above. Now select the entire top row of the type layer. Let's change the color of the top row. Click on the foreground color on the toolbar. Select a color you like and click OK. This will change the font color of the top row. Press Ctrl Enter to exit the edit mode. So we have a beautifully customized type layer now. Now a quick tip to remember here. When you have a type layer with different font sizes, you can quickly change the size of the font by using the transform tool. Press Ctrl T to enter free transform mode. hold Shift key and click and drag a corner square of the bounding box. And remember, use only the corner square because the side square will not keep the ratio of length and breadth and will not look good as a type. Another tip. If you want to create a similar looking type layer like this one, you can simply hold Alt key and click and drag the type layer to duplicate it. Now enter into edit mode of the duplicate layer and type in new text you like. Easy. Now moving ahead, if you want to type in an entire paragraph but you don't have enough space or you want to restrict the space the paragraph takes, you can simply click and drag with the type tool active to cover the entire area you want to use for the paragraph. Now open the instruction document I have provided in the description and copy the example text to use it as paragraph. Now before pasting it inside the box, we need to set our font face and size. Set the font face to Open Sans Regular, font size to 6, leading to auto, tracking to 0 and font color to black. Now paste the copied text inside the box and see what happens. Now in case the type overflows the box, means not all the text is visible, then you must have either set the font size too large or bounding box too small. So click on its layer in the layer panel to exit the edit mode but still be able to change the character or paragraph settings. Now either click and drag the square on the bounding box or change the font size as necessary. Inside the bounding box, we can apply all the settings and customizations we did before. We can change the leading, we can change the tracking, we can change the alignment, and we can also change the color. It is as simple as any other word processing program. If you want to change a paragraph, you will press enter, of course. But if you only want to break line, you can press shift enter to do so, in case you didn't know. Now get out of the edit mode by pressing Ctrl enter and use the move tool to move the entire paragraph to a desired location. Okay. Now let's move ahead and create a vertical type. This is actually very easy. All you have to do is right click on the type tool on the toolbar and select vertical type tool. Now click on the canvas to create a new type layer and start typing. Use the move tool to position the layer to a suitable spot after. Now select the entire text and change the font face to Open Sans Regular, font size to whatever you like, leading to auto and tracking to 0. And now select only the first half of the word and go to the control panel and change the color. And then select the second half of the word and change its color as well. Keep the same color or maybe a different one. Exit the edit mode with Ctrl enter. Now click on the paragraph above with the type tool active and select all the type and copy it. And then exit the edit mode of this layer as well. Now click and drag and create a box for the paragraph to be written vertically. Press Ctrl V to paste the text inside the box. The interesting thing here is that we didn't need to change the type to horizontal to edit the horizontal paragraph. For quick customization, select all the type in the box and change its color. Let's also change the tracking a bit. Adjust the size of the bounding box as desired. And finally, create a line break in the paragraph and create a separate paragraph as well. Now click on the middle of the right paragraph and go to Control Panel and change the alignment to top 9. So that's all for the type tool and this video. In the next video, we'll discuss about the shape tool. Keep practicing the type tool and as I always say, explore. See you in the next video.